Hi, I'm Caleb Giddings from Gun Nuts Media. Hey, buddy, and this is Ruger. Today, we're going to talk about something that a lot of people have argued about on the internet, and it's something that CCW people will do, some won't do, competition shooters will do it, some won't do it. You'll even see it in movies if the gun handling for that movie is particularly squared away. As a matter of fact, if you see someone do this in a movie, it's a really good sign that whoever the firearms consultant for that film was knows what they're doing. What are we talking about? We're talking about press checking. Now, for the purpose of this video, I am going to be using dummy rounds so that the internet safety Nazis don't cry and wet their pants and, oh my gosh, he had a loaded gun, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, so what is press checking? Press checking is very simple. It's when you take your gun and you check to see if there's a round in the chamber. You don't fully rack the slide to the rear or anything like that. You just press it to check to see if there's a round in the chamber. Why do we press check our guns? We press check our guns to make sure they're either loaded or unloaded. A more technical way of saying that would be we press check our weapons to verify their condition. All right? So I want to make sure that my carry gun is loaded before I put it in my holster, before I put my holster on or whatever. And so, press check. I want to make sure that my competition gun, which is what this is my Rock Island Competition 1911 chambered in 9mm. It's awesome. I want to make sure that before I fire my first rounds on a stage that my gun is loaded. So I'll load and make ready and blah, blah, blah. And then I'll just go do and press check. So that's why we press check our guns. Some people say you shouldn't press check your guns. I think you should, and there are certain times to do it. Here are the times when I press check my guns. Before I start a stage. That's just kind of a habit that I've gotten into. But the most important time, and this is more for concealed carry, I will always press check my gun if my gun has been out of my control for any extended period of time. So basically what that means is when I go to bed at night, I take my gun off, I put it, wherever I put my gun. I leave it loaded because it's my carry gun. I don't particularly feel the need to unload a gun that's sitting in my holster, so I leave it loaded. When I get up in the morning, I put my holster on, I take my gun out, point it in a safe direction, and press check it. This is to ensure that the bullet gremlins have not snuck the bullet out of the chamber of my gun, and so that if I actually need to use it, nothing bad happens. That's pretty much the only time I press check my gun, is when I put it on in the morning. I don't really feel the need to do it at any other time than that, and that's when I recommend that people do that. If you carry a loaded gun and you leave your gun loaded all the time, press check it after it's been out of your control for an extended period of time. One other time that maybe I would press check my gun is when I load it. So, if you unload your carry gun at night, alright? Which we just did, and I just threw that dummy round on the ground. The only other time I would press check my gun is if I load is right after I load it. So I'm gonna stick the mag in the chamber. I'm going to check the mag to make sure there's a round missing off the top, then top it off as appropriate, and then I'm going to press check my gun. And the reason I want to do that is I want to make sure that the round has actually chambered and that my gun is actually loaded. So, 2 times to press check your gun. Either if you leave it loaded and it's been out of your control, check it to make sure it stays loaded, or right after you load it, check it to make sure the round properly chambered. Now, let's talk about how to press check your gun, right? The way you've seen me do it is with a 1911, I knock the safety off, I roll it over so I can see the ejection port, I put my fingers up here, and I go like that. That's how I do it. That's how I've always done it. Some people say you shouldn't put your fingers ahead of the ejection port. I don't know why they say that, but they do. If so, there's a couple of different ways you can press check, keeping your hands back behind the ejection port. You can pretty much do the same thing I just did, just grab it like that instead. You can also do the super tactical operator version where you'll be like, guns tight up in here. You'll be like, all right, still loaded. You can pinch it like Keanu does in Street Kings. That's pretty dope. Or if you're a real badass, you can do it my favorite way, which, again, on a 1911, you have to remember to take the safety off, knock the safety off, and do it Matrix style. Oh, yeah. Still loaded. Anyway, those are 3 different ways or 4 different ways to press check your gun, and a couple of reasons why you should press check your gun. If you have any questions about this, if you don't know why you're watching this video, or you're confused about press checking, hey, get your nose out of your dick. or you want to ask why my dog is trying to lick his dick on the internet, then feel free to leave me a knock it off. You're on the internet. Then feel free to leave me a comment below. I'm Caleb Giddings. Thanks for watching. Oh, buddy. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I wouldn't let you rub your dick on the internet. You have crusties on your eyes. What is that? Is that a zit? What's wrong with you? You're sick. Are you okay, buddy? Oh, I love you. Oh, come here, bud. No, no. Too lazy? Okay.